chose the Mabiki path instead. It's not clear how effective the welfare and registration laws were, but the whole Baby Lives Matter movement seemed to work. The culture started to shift. Having children used to be a mostly private matter, but all the attention from the law made people think of it as a matter of state and society. As Japan moved towards the modern age, people started looking outwards. The elites saw a large population as both a defense against foreign invaders and a means to take over and settle in foreign lands. A popular saying went, "Even a strong castle cannot be defended without soldiers." Imperialistic intellectuals saw raising children as a patriotic duty. They thought up plans to increase the population almost 20 times every 30 years, which was ridiculous because 1, that's impossible, and 2, no one needs that much anime. Bigger families became the hip new thing. In the first half of the Edo period, couples usually had 2 to 3 children. In the second half, that number rose to 4 or 5, and in the Meiji period, it rose to 6. And in the modern period, it's -6. When the Meiji government took over in 1868, they did try to continue monitoring pregnancies, but after a few years, they stopped caring as much. By 1880, there was no more surveillance nor welfare for poor parents. The population was exploding again. Looks like the babies they killed were all reincarnating back. People thought Mabiki was an uncivilized practice of the past. But when historians looked closer, they saw plenty of villages that had suspiciously high numbers of stillbirths and way too many boys than girls. Looks like Mabiki was still happening in the early 1900s. It was just less common. In those times, people often said, "I sent my daughter to pick flowers," and "I had my son gather crabs," which sounds nice until you find out that those were euphemisms. Mabiki rates plummeted in the 1910s to the 1940s. We're not sure why, but we do have some guesses. It might have been a culture shift. Japan was modernizing, and people might have thought that Mabiki had no place in a modern civilized society. Also, Japan was enthusiastically spreading its culture to other Asian countries at the time. The government passed wartime policies to help newlyweds and large families. It became patriotic to give birth and multiply. The final nail in the tiny coffin for Mabiki was hammered in 1949, when Japan legalized abortion. By then, the procedure was safe for the mother, no longer the danger it once was. For example, they no longer used mercury. The number of abortions skyrocketed, removing the need for Mabiki. It became the main form of birth control for a decade, until modern contraceptives appeared, just in time for them to become irrelevant. Alright, we have a quiz question this week. When the Mongols invaded Japan, what was the name of the bay in Kyushu that they sailed to? Answer in the comments. You have 24 hours until I pick the winner from among the correct answers. Winner gets one of these babies. Good luck. We have some new people on Patreon. Tanuki Bot, Sano Ichiro, K-pop diva from Texas. Oh, we have a famous person. And the Boosker. Alright, I love you and spread the knowledge.